UFC 289 was a snooze fest. It was one of the worst card in recent times. The only fight that was worth watching was the co-main event between Charles Oliveira and Beneil Dariush. Beneil Dariush was on a 8-fight winning streak and he was on a tear. He was deemed as a potential fight for the champion Islam Makhachev. Beneil Dariush had been widely neglected by the UFC, and much like Tony Ferguson, he didn't get a title shot despite winning one tough fight after the other. A win versus Oliveira meant one step closer to that elusive title shot. Further, Darius had said all week that he was better than Charles Oliveira everywhere. His grappling was also at par with Charles, and on the feet too, he had the edge. Fans were eager to see how Charles and Beneil grapple with each other, as both had great jiu-jitsu and were monsters on the ground. But Charles Oliveira isn't just a grappler anymore. His striking skills have vastly improved, and his opponents have not been able to keep up with him since his resurgence on the feet as well. He has basically cleaned up the lightweight division and has lost only to the champ Islam Makhachev. The fight began, and it was clear that Charles was way faster than Beneil. Darius did manage to land a few left hands, but it did little damage. He was able to take Oliveira down. It was phenomenal to see two elite grapplers on the mat trying to out grapple one another. Charles Oliveira is so smooth on his back and with his jiu-jitsu that even Beneil Darius couldn't do anything to him. In the scrambles, he landed a few shots, but his grappling also wore him out. Eventually, Oliveira got back to his feet and landed a beautiful high kick, followed by a right hand. Oliveira is so accurate with his strikes nowadays that it is uncanny. The right hand rocked Beneil and sat him down. His instinct was to grapple, but against a finisher like Charles Oliveira, that wasn't going to work. Oliveira swarmed round his back and landed heavy ground and pound, and the fight was over in the very first round itself. Charles Oliveira ended Beneil Dariush's 8-fight win streak. He is the most exciting fighter in the lightweight division. He won his 19th bonus after tonight's performance. Once again, he finished his opponent and didn't leave anything to the judges. Two Bronx is a nightmare for anyone. A rematch with Makhachev awaits, and Charles just made a statement by finishing Beneil in the very first round itself. From that high octane performance, the fans were treated to one of the worst title fights and main events in history. Amanda Nunes defeated Irene Aldana over 5 rounds. It was not a competitive fight and definitely wasn't worthy of a main event. The women's bantamweight division in the UFC is pathetic, and so is the featherweight division. And Amanda Nunes is the double champ. But what about the contenders? Irene Aldana looked like she had a better chance of fighting trees. This fight didn't deserve to be on the main card, let alone the main event. Nunes retired after this fight as a double champ. A trilogy with Juliana Pena didn't happen, or a potential bout with Valentina Shevchenko. She will grow down as the greatest female fighter in the UFC. But reason for her dominance was also how incredibly thin the UFC bantamweight and featherweight divisions are. The UFC also tried their best to protect her. They didn't let Chris Cyborg have a rematch with her. They didn't let Valentina Shevchenko to have another crack at her, and now even Juliana Pena doesn't get to complete the trilogy. Amanda Nunes retires, and with that, maybe the bantamweight and the featherweight division of the UFC, there is a big question mark whether they can carry on as well. Let me know in the comment section what you feel. And if you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.